Yeah, I do have a different feeling about myself as a parent. I think the biggest way I feel differently is that I feel a lot more kindness towards myself. I think there was something so striking about being with this other group of parents over a 6-week period where we got to know each other really well, and listening to other people share about these struggles that are so similar to mine. It just made me realize that all of the compassion and sort of understanding that I had for them, like I am also one of those people. And it really caused me to think about sort of myself and whether I'm getting taken care of in all of this. Because I think that was the biggest missing piece, I think, for me, was that I wasn't getting taken care of. Like I was spending all day taking care of 2 boys and doing the best I could, but I wasn't getting any sort of maintenance for myself, just in terms of the relentless need to be making choices, and being the decider and stuff. And then sometimes not deciding because you're so sick of deciding. And so I think just having this kinder and softer approach to myself and recognizing that this is super hard, and it's super hard the way that we're doing it all like separately in our own little houses by ourselves. And that, again, that moment where I get to choose if I'm up for it. Like that I know I have this little kind of, this little toolbox of things I can use that work well, but it takes time and energy, and sometimes I don't have it. And that's totally fine. And I think, honestly, again, I think that's the best, when I tell people about this class, that's always the thing I start with. Because I think people are used to a class being like, oh, well, what model is it? Is it really like punitive, or is it listening, or is it, whatever. Like people are sort of ready to sign up for a system where like, we're going to do this program now and we're not going to deviate from the program. And there's something relieving about that because you don't have to think as much, but it's also exhausting, and you usually stop doing it after a while because you're like, ugh, like I don't need another thing to have to do. And so that really is the thing that I always tell people when I'm talking about this, is that the best thing about it is that like the fundamental, like the starting point is, it is hard what you're doing. And if you can't do these things, like that's no problem. And when you can do them, that's awesome. And that's fine. And just that, I think that innate understanding that we're all doing the best we can, and just this recognition that sometimes you can't stop everything and connect as much as you'd want, because we're living in like a real life scenario. So yeah, I mean, I do think that's the main, I have a lot more understanding for myself and how hard this is, and a lot more kindness and compassion.